Here are some fine Lincoln High School students playing football. The field they are playing on is called Inman Field. Many fine athletes from Lincoln played football on this field over many years. If you ask someone today who the field is named after, most people won't know. I was told a long time ago it was named after a Lincoln student named Inman who was killed in Vietnam. There was a Lincoln student named Inman who died in the Korean War, who was a Lincoln football player. His dad was a Lincoln football coach back in the 40s and 50s. Listen to the rest of the story to see which Inman the field was named after. I'll tell you about these two great men. Please subscribe below, and ring the bell. Richard George Inman. Born March 30, 1930. Died July 7, 1953. Son of George E Inman. Richard, who most people called him Dick, was an outstanding football player for the Lincoln Alices. His father was his coach, and a teacher for Lincoln. Father and son were both well liked by all that knew them. However, let's talk about Richard, or Dick as he liked to be called. Dick was an outstanding student, lettering in multiple sports. His father made sure he excelled at football. After high school, Dick was accepted to West Point, where he also played football, and was a member of West Point's track team. Upon entering West Point, the Korean War was raging. June 3, 1952, Dick graduated from West Point, and was assigned to the 17th Infantry Regiment, 7th Infantry Division, the Heavy Mortar Company, as a second lieutenant. Now everyone has heard of Pork Chop Hill, a fierce battle of the Korean War, fought in the later days of this war. Lieutenant Richard G Inman was a soldier in that battle. His parents last heard from their son Dick in a letter they received on July 2, 1953. He told them how his company is getting ready to join the fight on Pork Chop Hill. He said his company would be in charge of demolition work. Thursday, July 9, 1953, only 7 days after receiving the letter, Lieutenant Inman was reported to be missing in action. 3 months after he was reported missing, his parents, Mr. and Mrs. George E Inman of 1507 St. Clair Street, heard word that he had been killed during the tragic Battle of Pork Chop Hill during the last days of the Korean War. As any parents, and his wife Barbara Kipp-Inman would want to know about their son and husband, they contacted Congressman Bray. Congressman Bray investigated Lieutenant Inman's situation. Here is what Congressman Bray found out. Congressman Bray found 2 soldiers who were with young Inman on his last day. From them he learned just what happened. These soldiers told how a Chinese soldier appeared before their bunker, shouting "Surrender, surrender," indicating he wanted to surrender to the Americans. The first impulse of the 2 soldiers was to kill the Chinese soldier. But Lieutenant Inman overruled them. He said a live prisoner is valuable to the army. From him information can be obtained. So they pulled the Chinese inside. But he was a treacherous devil. Once inside, he pulled out a grenade, and hurled it, then jumped outside again. The grenade exploded, and apparently Lieutenant Inman took the full blast of the grenade. The 2 men tried to carry Inman back to the rear for medical treatment. They had only traveled a short distance when another grenade exploded at their feet, wounding both. Later a rescue party took the wounded troopers back to care and attention, but did not see Lieutenant Inman. Later Chinese forces overran the area, and Lieutenant Inman's body had not been located up to last week. Dick Inman's remains were never located. His name is inscribed on the courts of the missing at the Honolulu Memorial, also memorialized in Montgomery County, Ohio, USA. Awards: Silver Star, Purple Heart, National Defense Service Medal, Korean Service Medal, Republic of Korea Presidential Unit Citation, United Nations Service Medal, Republic of Korea War Service Medal, and Combat Infantryman Badge. George E Inman, father of Lieutenant Richard, Dick, Inman. George Inman grew up in Elnora, Indiana, and graduated Elnora High School. After graduation, George Inman went to Indiana Central College. While there, Mr. Inman met his wife Esther, Becky, Lemme. To advance his studies, Mr. George Inman attended Ball State. George E Inman was a fine fellow who taught many years, and coached football and basketball for Lincoln High School. George E Inman taught government at Lincoln High School for 29 years, and was the football coach for 26 years. His 1945 and 1946 teams were football champions of the Southern Indiana Athletic Conference. His 1945 team went 8-1, and his 1950 team won 9, and lost 1. George E. Inman passed away on January 22, 1960. Everyone calls the Vincennes football field Inman Field. Do you know which one of these fine men the football field is named after? It could be named after each one. Each man deserves to have it named after them for all they done. If you look up as you enter the gate of Inman Field, you will see the name of the man the field is named after. It has a longer name than just Inman Field. Continue listing as you will find out which one of these fine men the field is named after. On October 15, 1960, the Inman family were honored. Friday evening at the Bloomington Vincennes football game, during halftime ceremonies on the football field, and school athletic area formerly called Washington Field, was officially changed to the George E. Inman Memorial Field. On hand for the ceremonies were members of the late George Inman's family, school officials, and officials of the late coach, and teachers of Lincoln High School. Above are Woody Allen, president of the Alice Sports Fans Incorporation, C.B. Tolbert, principal of Lincoln High School, Glenn Bretz, superintendent of schools, Mr. and Mrs. Howard Wood, of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Bonnie Ruth Inman, Mrs. F.C. Lemme, of Bloomington, Illinois, Mrs. George Inman, Mr. and Mrs. N. Arnold Vermillion, of Muncie, and Charles Miller, who with Chet Francis, not shown in picture, served as the committee which arranged the honor for the late football coach.